I'd started my film career with Tunes of Glory and Victim, and then I had a contract with the Walt Disney Organization. I made 2 films for Disney, and I had just finished a version of The Adventures of Gerard, which was a film for United Artists. And Sloane came after I'd finished that film. I first became involved in Sloane when they sent me the script, and it had already had a great success in the theatre, and it was a wonderful part. I was aware of Joe Orton's work because I'd seen the play, which had achieved a great deal of notoriety, I have to say, and success, and such was the content of the script that it was played in a club theatre under licence, the Arts Theatre in London, which was the only time it had been performed. When I saw the original production in the theatre, when I saw Dudley Sutton play Sloane, I thought that was perfect casting. I thought he was absolutely dead on. I didn't think that I was because the way he looked, he had this kind of broken nose and curly hair, and he was like one of Michelangelo's angels, you know. In the so I had to find a way of doing it differently. What was outrageous about the script at the time when it was done in the theatre, which was why it was done under club conditions, he was an outrageous writer, Joe Orton. He was the kind of equivalent of a restoration writer, and but that's what made the film attractive, was that it was outrageous. The script of the film was written by a very eminent writer in his own right, Clive Exton, who did the screenplay, and kept faithfully to the original Orton script. The film script didn't differ at all from the stage play. Certain dialogue was taken from the play and used on exterior sequences for the film.
What a smooth skin you have on you.
Hey?
I saw you lying there and I thought, don't care to think what I thought.
I try to keep fit. Sun invigorates it.
I like a lad with a nice smooth body.
I think most of the characterization is pretty obvious in the text. It's not a rough, it's not a rough draft, which requires a great deal of improvisation. It doesn't. It requires quite a definite discipline with any good writing.
They won't find the killer now.
I should very much doubt it.
Scent's gone cold.
Yes. Hand me over them flowers, will you?
What attracted me to the role was the fact that he was a real villain, and I liked the ambiguity of Sloane. You didn't really know where he came from. You didn't really know who any of his contacts were, or any kind of previous life, except the fact that he'd obviously been implicated in some murder. And I don't think homosexuality was the issue in the film. What I liked about him was that he was out for what he could get, whatever it took. But it was a wonderful part to take on. My backstory for Sloane was that when I found out that Joe Orton was from Leicester, which is from the Midlands, I was born in Birmingham. I'm from the Midlands also, and I thought that by giving him a Midland accent would tie in with the kind of rhythms that Joe was writing, that kind of vernacular. And it also gave Sloane a distance, so that he wasn't from the local area where we were filming, where the play is set, rather. And it just gave him a distance, the fact that he'd come from somewhere else.
You're a criminal, you are.
How are you going to identify me?
I don't have to. They got fingerprints.
Really?
You killed my old boss.
Who says I did?
I do.
Your vision's faulty. You told Ed this?
No.
It was quite sensible of you, Pop. If I was you, I'd keep very quiet about it.
There isn't a great deal of difference between performing on stage, performing a character on stage, or on a film. It's a question of interpretation. The film of Sloane, the screenplay stuck very closely to the stage play. The difficulties or the problems of trying to portray a character are exactly the same on stage as you would find doing a film. When I discussed the film with Dougie Hickox, the director, how it would differ from the play, it was a question of opening up to an international audience to make it ripe for the cinema audience rather than the theatre audience.
You wouldn't put me away, would you? Why don't we talk it over, eh? Right, take up your friend! Give us a chance, Ed!
It was great fun working with Beryl Reid and Harry Andrews. Both of them were theatre actors, and so there was that sense of preparation. One of the good things about working on that movie was the fact that we rehearsed for 2 weeks before we started shooting, which was very helpful in many ways. And both Harry and Beryl were very professional and fun to work with. Rehearsals were very relaxed, and I remember we rented a house in Notting Hill Gate, and we'd turn up every day and we'd rehearse scenes and discuss the script and whether there were any changes needed or anything that needed to be added, and various things that saved time from having to do it on the set. Dougie Hickox was a terrific first feature director, because he'd spent a lot of his career making commercials. He had a very good company that was set up to make commercials, and he'd learnt his craft technically. And so by the time it came to doing a feature film, he knew exactly what to do technically, and he was very generous and very sympathetic with his actors. He liked actors, and he also had a great sense of humour and was very, very relaxed. So it made conditions, very enjoyable. This was very happy association, because, as I say, the professionalism of the Dougie Hickox and the producer, Dougie Kentish, their organisation, was very well tuned into making movies, and their preparation was very thorough. There were not any delays or problems. I thought the film was very good. I thought the final film was very well made, a very good example of Dougie Hickox's work, and he then went on, of course, to make a great many more feature films very successfully. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, which is a pity.